Well, I wonder how your day's gone today, because today's Saturday and it's been yet another amazing day, and Facebook posts have been coming through with just fantastic images of creation, and no doubt they'll keep coming through for the next few days. I just wonder if you ever see yourself or you ever see other people in the same way that God does. And by that I mean, we look at creation and we go, wow, this is a sign of God's goodness and his creativity and his ingenuity. And it's just a sign of wonder as well. It's just like how wonderful God is, that he can create all of these incredible aspects of creation so beautifully and wonderfully. But I wonder if you look at yourself in the sort of a similar vein, or even if you're looking at other people in a sort of a similar vein. You see, in Genesis 1:26, God created, and he created all the stuff that we see out there, and he says it is good. And it's just fantastic, to imagine how thrilled they are when they just stand back and watch creation. And it's fascinating actually, because in Genesis 1:26 the word says let us. And so there's a sense which this is the Trinitarian God right the way back in Genesis. And what they're doing together is they're creating, and having created, they're going, wow, that's good. However, what they then go on to do is to create you and me, the pinnacle of their creation, their masterpiece of their handiwork. And then they look back and they go, wow, that is very good. She is very good. He is very, very good. So I wonder if you can look at yourself in the same way that God does. And if you can look at yourself as a sign and a wonder, because you are, according to God, you are a sign and a wonder. And that can seem quite hard to accept, because it's like, wow, that feels a bit pride-filled. Or, well, who am I to accept that I'm a sign and a wonder, and that God even thinks that I am, or that's going to put me under pressure, because now all of a sudden I've got to do more things for God. But actually the reality is that when we know the truth sets us free. And instead of us being afraid or being pride-filled, we're humbled and we're grateful. And it's just like, yeah, I am a sign and a wonder. So let me just give you 4 Bible verses very quickly, so that you can maybe consider these and let them just sink deep into your soul and change the way that you think about yourself and maybe even other people. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says this: if anyone is in Christ, a new creation has come. The old has gone and the new is here. Colossians 1:27 speaks about Christ in us, the hope of glory. That is in Christians, only in Christians. 2 Corinthians 3:18 said, and all we who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory are being transformed into his image with ever increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. And then 2 Corinthians 4:16 says this: therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. You see, the word says there that we are a sign and a wonder. Following on from the death and the resurrection and the ascension of Christ, we're not just acts that were signs and wonders, as in miracles and healings and deliverances and salvations. They are themselves incredible signs and wonders. However, Jesus also looks at us and he said, because of me entering in, because of me transforming you from the inside out, that you and yourself are a sign and a wonder. So maybe you want to consider that. I meditate on very, very small Bible verses, just even parts of Bible verses sometimes. The context is important, of course. However, just to take a few words and consider them and meditate on them, and allow your soul to be fed by them, will actually just change you from the inside out and strengthen you and cause you to be humble and grateful. So we are the pinnacle. You are the pinnacle of God's creation. And he says when he looks at you, you are very, very good. Then, because of his grace, he pours in to our hearts, Romans 5:5. He pours in his love into our hearts. He pours in, or he puts in Christ. How on earth he manages that, I have no idea. And then he transforms us from the inside out. Even though we're weary maybe, and tired and trapped and struggling, nevertheless we're being transformed into more and more of his glory, a sign and a wonder. Happy Saturday.